स्वागत करते हैं जी एक बार फिर आप सब ਦਾ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਸ ਹੈਲਥ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੇਰਾ ਸਾਥ ਦੇਣਗੇ ਐਂਟੋਨੀਨਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਸਰਟੀਫਾਈਡ ਨਿਊਟ੍ਰੀਸ਼ਨਲ ਪ੍ਰੈਕਟੀਸ਼ਨਰ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਕੈਂਡਿਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਦੁਆਲਾ ਨੇ। ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸੀਰੀਜ਼ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਮਾਂ ਜਨਮ ਦਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੂੰ ਜਨਮ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਦਾ ਧਿਆਨ ਰੱਖਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ। ਪਿਛਲੇ ਹਫਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਕਿਉਂ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਹੈ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਪੋਸਟਮਾਰਟਮ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਜਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਰਿਸੋਰਸਿਸ ਅਵੇਲੇਬਲ ਨੇ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਕਿ ਬੈਨੀਫਿਟਸ ਲਏ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਨੇ, ਨਿਊਟ੍ਰੀਸ਼ਨ ਕਿਸ ਕਿਸਮ ਦੀ ਹੋਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ ਮਾਂ ਨੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਜਨਮ ਦੇ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੈ। और इन चीज़ों के कुछ जानकारी लेने हैं दोनों ही मेहमानों तो। Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Thank you. Start off with you. Last week we were talking about how it is important that someone needs to be there after the child has been born. So mother needs that emotional support. She needs to talk what she's feeling with someone, and people like you can support at that time.
Yes.
What kind of resources are available which can be used during that time?
So starting with a postpartum doula is great because it gives you, we can kind of come in and assess what kind of resources are needed, and we have connections to all of those resources.
Right.
So starting with just the support of a postpartum doula, stepping in as sort of that village that we're missing now in our society, and so that's the first sort of lifeline of connection. And then from there, there's an organization called the Postpartum Support Society. They help with women who have anxiety, depression, just sort of overall baby blues. You know, there's all kinds of different levels of it and different titles.
Right.
But they're a fabulous resource. But getting out, there's lots of beautiful classes that are meant for moms and babies. Sort of mother unfolding classes, as some of them are called, and they support women to just get together and just talk about what they're feeling and allow that to be okay. So those are the kind of professional resources that we have. Of course, reaching out to your family doctor if you're feeling like things aren't right, those kinds of things. But then beyond that, we also have, as a family and as a society, the kinds of things that we can be doing to support them, support new moms.
And during this time, why is it that a mother can go into depression? Is it just not being able to talk about her feelings, or there are the physical changes, the emotional changes, what she's facing?
It's all of it. It's the hormonal blueprint of having a baby and what your body goes through, and the hormones getting themselves lined back up.
Right.
It's very common for any kind of childhood things that you've experienced to come up when you have your own child. So having trauma from your own childhood, it all comes up at that time. So it's definitely a factor. Just not having the emotional support, as you mentioned, not having an outlet to just overall feel supported. Sometimes it's just physical exhaustion, not being able to sleep. Sleep deprivation is a crazy thing, and it can make your mind do crazy things. And so it's everything. It's a cocktail of all of these things coming together.
It's a combination of all these factors which can lead to this. You're an expert in nutrition especially, and you have a good knowledge about supplements and everything. During this phase, like Candice talked that the mother is passing through a turmoil, I would say, not turmoil as such, but turmoil in different sense. During this period, can supplements be of some assistance to the mother, and also what kind of nutrition should be taken during this period?
Yeah, absolutely. Supplements and nutrition is really, really important. So a lot of our mothers today, when they go through 9 months of carrying a baby, what happens at that time is they give off and give away a lot of the nutrient storage or the needs that they have their own for their body. The body will always use whatever it can and more for the baby. The baby is a priority when the baby is growing in our uterus, in ourselves. So there's always, the baby is a survival of the species, that this new life that's being formed. And so a lot of the times the mothers are depleted. So during that baby's growth, if there is an insufficient amount of nutrients, the baby will pick up what it can, and mothers are even more deficient. So when they've gone through the stress of giving birth, or this beautiful time of giving birth, there's definitely a lot of exhaustion, a lot more giving that's going on. So I strongly believe that once we delivered the baby, and now that we need to replenish ourselves, and then we have to continue replenishing ourselves, because now we have to continue giving a lot more to the baby through breastfeeding. So if our society today as a whole is very nutrient deficient, imagine what happens to the mother after going through such an important experience. So we are very depleted as mothers after giving birth, and then we definitely need help and nurturing and support, emotional, and physical.
Right.
So mental and physical as well. And so if we are deficient overall and our food doesn't have enough nutrients, and let's assume that the mother does eat a very holistic, beautiful, healthy, non-toxic diet, a lot of the times, even if that is consumed, the nutrient values in our food have dropped.
Right.
So supplementation might be a good way of replenishing or contributing and helping the woman to get through this very giving stage.
Right.
So I would definitely, there's wonderful complexes and there are wonderful ways through food and through supplementation to support the mother, to support her intestinal health, to support her, which will going to provide the baby's immune system, to support her brain health, and make sure that there's all nutrients that are required for the brain functioning. And when those are supplemented or brought in through food, the mother will definitely have a lot more tolerance in dealing with that stress.
Right.
Of being a new mother, of having all this new stress factors on her, having this new, essentially there's a lot of new things that are happening. It's a completely new experience, completely new emotional experience, a completely different life change, exactly, lifestyle change. And because we want to be the best, there's so much pressure on us as mothers, especially during that time. We want to be perfect, and that stress of wanting to be perfect, wanting to provide everything, wanting to be the best mother we can, that extra stress is added. And we know we talked about it before. Every time you're stressed, you consume 4 times more nutrients than you are when you're not.
Absolutely.
So this is a stressful time, so let's support mothers through it.
And finally, Candice, any advice from your experience during this period, what needs to be kept in mind? You've talked about the support. Specifically, if you have any challenges at that time, what needs to be kept in mind?
So as a new mom, you need to be contacting postpartum doulas, you need to be contacting lactation consultants, you need to be contacting nutritionists, all of these things, and really being gentle with yourself and allowing that healing. But as a community, as friends, as family, we need to understand what it means to support that bubble. So understanding coming in, and it means emptying their garbages, it means folding their laundry, it means not just wanting to sit there and hold the baby. I mean, everyone just wants to sit and hold a new baby. That's the best part. But mom needs to be holding her baby. Dad needs to be holding the baby. The partner needs, they need as a family to be holding their baby and bonding. And that skin to skin is super important. So what can you do to support that? I sort of feel like I'm a bit of I come in a land assessor. I sort of come in, I'm like, okay, there's a pile of laundry there and there's some dishes there and mom doesn't look like she's eaten in a while. And you just sort of work your way through it and you just work around them. You're really there to support. It's not about you, and that's really hard as a grandparent, as an aunt and uncle. You just want to be like, this is, you just want to take the baby and have that experience, and that's great, but that's not your job as a support person.
Great. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for your perspective and this information. Breastfeeding plays a very important role at this time. I would like to discuss about this in our next topic. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਕੈਂਡਿਸ ਅਤੇ ਐਂਟੋਨੀਨਾ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਪੋਸਟਮਾਰਟਮ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਦੇ ਸੰਬੰਧ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਰਿਸੋਰਸਿਸ ਅਵੇਲੇਬਲ ਨੇ। ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕੈਂਡਿਸ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਕਲਾਸਿਸ ਲੱਗਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ, ਮੌਮ ਕਲਾਸਿਸ, ਉੱਥੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਦੂਸਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਨਵੀਆਂ ਮਦਰਸ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ, ਇੱਕ ਦੂਸਰੇ ਤੋਂ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲੈ ਸਕਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਵਰਗੀਆਂ ਡੂਲਾ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਇਸ ਸਮੇਂ ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਰੋਲ ਪਲੇ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ, क्योंकि माँ जो है उस समय बच्चे ਨੂੰ भी देखना है, होर सारा कुछ करना है, तो उस समय ज़रूरत है कोई ऐसा व्यक्ति होवे ਜਿਹੜਾ ਨਾਲ ਉਹ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਦੇ ਸਕੇ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਇਮੋਸ਼ਨਲ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਮਿਲਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ, ਉਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੋਰ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਮਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਪੂਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ। ਸੋ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਰਿਸੋਰਸਿਸ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ। ਐਂਟੋਨੀਨਾ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਇਸ ਸਮੇਂ ਨਿਊਟ੍ਰੀਸ਼ਨ ਬਹੁਤ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਹੈ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਮਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੀ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਲੈਕ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਤਾਂ ਹਾਈ ਕੁਆਲਿਟੀ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਫੂਡ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹ ਲੈਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ ਫ੍ਰੀ ਆਫ ਪੈਸਟੀਸਾਈਡਸ ਐਂਡ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਇਹ ਆਰਗੈਨਿਕ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਖਾਣਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਮਾਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਤੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਲਾਹੇਵੰਦ ਹੋਏ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਮਾਂ ਨੇ ਅਲਟੀਮੇਟਲੀ ਬ੍ਰੈਸਟ ਫੀਡ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈਗਾ। ਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਅਖੀਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਸਮਾਂ ਬੜਾ ਹੀ ਇੱਕ ਨਾਜ਼ੁਕ ਸਮਾਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਵੱਧ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ ਸਮਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਨੇ, ਗ੍ਰੈਂਡ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਨੇ ਜਾਂ ਹੋਰ ਫਰੈਂਡਸ ਫੈਮਲੀਜ਼ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਉੱਥੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਮਦਦ ਕਰਨ, ਇਮੋਸ਼ਨਲ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਪ੍ਰੋਵਾਈਡ ਕਰਨ, ਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੇਕਰ ਬੱਚੇ ਦੀ ਵੀ ਦੇਖਭਾਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਸਮਾਂ ਬਿਤਾਉਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ।